Can you hear me now? All right. Let's see if you can hear me now. Okay, so Drew says it's better. All right. Let's continue on with this. But all right. So rain by the end of next week and also a warm up. But looking at our current temperatures right now, mostly cloudy with temperatures hanging out in the 30s for the most part. But off to our north, we're already starting to see that front beginning to move through, where you can see Fairfield has already dropped to around 23 degrees. We're sitting at around 35 in Owensboro and 30 here in the Evansville area. And that's where that front is kind of parked up right now. And you can see that band of snow. It's got moderate to heavier bands well off to our north, pushing into portions of central and even into southeastern Indiana later tonight. And that's also going to be pushing up into Ohio and into the I-95 corridor by tomorrow. But this high pressure that we have off to our northwest, that's where a lot of that Arctic cold air is currently still locked up. So that is what's going to be sliding into the tri-state starting tonight. Looks like maybe the sound is still getting a little bit better, so I'll keep monitoring the comments. Let me know if I can do anything better so you guys can hear me. But here's a look at our current radar. You can see a lot of the snow still well off to our north above our banner there. We had maybe a few flurries sneak down across portions of Pike into Boyce County very early this morning, and we could see that happen again as that front again continues to push in from the south. But a lot of the models have backed off on many of that snow shower activity, making it down into the tri-state. But as that front does pass overhead, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a flurry or two get squeezed out of that. But I do think we end up mostly dry here. And then that cloud cover will continue to push out overnight tonight. It doesn't sound like it's loud. It sounds like it's another mic. Okay. Well, let's see. All right. Maybe, do I have to use this mic? I'm curious as to what's happening here. I apologize, guys, but let me go ahead and turn on maybe mic 2 will be better for us. Let me go ahead and turn that one on. Let's see. Can you hear me a little bit better now? Is this working? Okay, all right. So we're going to have to use the podcast mic. Not really sure what's going on with our weather mic here, but we'll continue to push on here with the weather show. But again, we'll have that colder air crashing in tonight, and we'll clear out nicely by the time we get into tomorrow. And you can see, looking at a snowfall forecast, again, a few flurries here. You could get very, very quick dusting, mainly along and north of I-64, but really not expecting much in way of accumulation there. And looking at our next 12 hours, temperatures will continue to drop down out of the 30s, which is where they are now, and quickly through the 20s into the teens, and eventually the single digits overnight tonight and into early tomorrow morning. So that is what we're on alert for throughout the day on Sunday, especially Sunday morning. Those wind chill values will be well below zero, possibly ranging anywhere between -5 to -15. Okay, it looks like we're getting some sound back. People are hearing me, and they're saying it's a lot better, so that's good. But let's take a look at our cold alert. So we've got that extreme, or not extreme cold warning, a cold weather advisory across much of the tri-state here, and that's set to expire, or goes into effect at midnight tonight, and is set to expire by noon on Sunday. So that is kind of the coldest time frame through the next 24 hours. And looking at the forecast through tomorrow, it will be sunny out there. It's going to be a nice looking day. It's just not going to feel that way. Our actual temperatures will be warming all the way up into the mid-teens. And then again, with those wind gusts, especially in the morning, up to 20 miles per hour, it's going to make it feel a lot colder out there. And that's where we have that dangerous wind chill that we're talking about for this alert. But starting with those wind chill values tonight at midnight, it's already going to start to feel like we're in the single digits below zero across the entire tri-state. And then by the time we wake up tomorrow morning around 8, 9 o'clock, a lot of folks headed out to church or other extracurricular activities, whatever you have, you want to make sure you're bundled up, because it will be ranging anywhere between -5, possibly all the way up to -15 across the tri-state. Obviously, those colder wind chill values expected farther to the north, and the warmer ones, if you could consider them warm, farther off to our south. But that is the dangerous cold we are on alert for. And unfortunately, it looks like even with the daylight hours and maybe some warming, it's still going to feel like the single digits above zero through Sunday afternoon. And it could even feel like that as we head into early Monday morning. So heading out to work or school, you definitely still want to be bundled up. So here's a look at just some cold weather safety tips for indoors and outdoors. If you're indoors, you want to make sure you're checking out those heating systems and carbon monoxide detectors. If you're going to be using space heaters, you want to make sure you're using them safely and you want to take them away from any flammable objects. And of course, you want to make sure to avoid frozen pipes. So a way you can do that is run a trickle of water over the next 24 hours just to prevent anything from freezing up. And then, of course, especially in your car, you want to have an emergency kit if you're going to be traveling. If you get stuck out in the cold, that's never good. You want to have some blankets, a flashlight, and some food. Now, if you're going to be outdoors, you want to make sure you're dressing in layers. That is key, especially to staying warm, especially with these wind chill values getting so low. And you want to cover any and all exposed skin using hats, gloves, scarves, and a face mask. And of course, limiting time outdoors in general is going to help you out, especially for children and elderly folk. And of course, staying dry is going to be key as well because moisture will take that heat right away from your body. Now, beyond the cold, it is going to start to warm up. So thankfully, this little Arctic blast is going to be fairly short-lived because looking at our next 8 to 14-day temperature trend, you'll notice we are going to be on the upward trend there, especially by the time we get into Christmas. It's already looking like Christmas is going to be warmer than average. So if you're hoping for a white Christmas, I'm going to say you might have to wait till next year. It's not really looking promising for us there. But here's a look at our 7-day forecast just to kind of wrap all this up in a little bow. Again, a few flurries or a light snow shower possible, mainly along and north of I-64 as that Arctic front pushes in overnight tonight. Our temperatures drop down into the single digits with wind chill values likely well below zero, ranging anywhere between -5 to -15, waking up early tomorrow morning. So bundling up, plenty of layers, and then even through tomorrow afternoon, it's still going to feel like the single digits above zero. We do start to improve, though, as we get into Monday. We'll climb back up above freezing, and then we'll actually trend upward through the 40s and into the 50s by the middle and end of next week. And it looks like that'll be accompanied by the chance for some more rain showers by the time we get into Thursday. So that is all I've got for the forecast here. I'm going to go ahead and check out the comments, see if you guys have any questions for me. All right. I put an order in for 65 for the rest of winter. Hey, I would happily accept your order if I was in charge of things like that. Do you think we will have school on Monday? Yes, I do. Don't really think the snow is really going to impact us that much. It's mostly the cold, unless you guys do get canceled for extreme cold, which may be a possibility. Of course, you want to make sure you're always checking out your school district's website. And of course, if there are any delays, you'll be able to view that on their website or ours. If they send them to us, we'll upload them there as well. So that is all the questions that I'm seeing here. So everybody just bundle up for the next 24 to 48 hours because we've got that Arctic front moving in, wind chill values well below zero, especially waking up early tomorrow morning. But it is short-lived because by the time we get into Thursday, some spots may be even flirting with 60 degrees. So that is all I've got. I'm going to hop off the live stream. I'll send you guys over to 14 News at 6 and 10 tonight for all the latest news and weather headlines. And, of course, I'll be right back here tonight at 9 o'clock on all streaming platforms with another look at your forecast. So until then, everybody, have a great rest of your night and stay warm.